This is the Business of Leadership Series Minute with your host, the best-selling author of Don't Buy a Duck and founder of MarketingStrategyHero.com, Derek Champagne.
I'm excited about our guest today, Swish Goswami. He's built a multi-hyphenate career, 22 years old. He's already a serial entrepreneur for a long time. LinkedIn youth editor, past Fortune 500 consultant for companies such as Google, American Express, and others, a venture capitalist, a UN youth ambassador, 3-time TEDx speaker, disruptor, curator, a builder, and influencer, and CEO and co-founder of TrueFan. Swish, thanks for spending a few minutes with us today.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate you sharing your story. We love to hear the stories. And so even though a lot of people know who you are, a lot of our audience may not. So give us a few highlights. I've got some notes here, but I'd just like to hear a few highlights from you. I would say from your childhood that really stand out to you that led you to the journey that you're on today.
Totally, yeah. I was born in Singapore, beautiful, beautiful country out in Southeast Asia. And I didn't really have an abnormal childhood whatsoever. I had a great childhood, but I wasn't a child genius or anything like that. I think some of the moments, though, that stood out to me were I developed a pretty big obsession of movies, both Hollywood and Bollywood movies when I was 5 and 6 years old, which very much sparked by creativity, especially around writing and being obsessed about writing stories and writing my ideas down on paper. When I was 7 years old, I built a hovercraft with my father. He's an engineer by trade, so he did most of the building. I did most of the watching and motivation, but I was still able to sell that hovercraft, which was remote controlled and rechargeable, to one of my classmates. And that was one of the first sales I ever actually did in my life, and was able to pocket out $200 and spend it on whatever I wanted to. And then when I was 14, I moved to Calgary, Alberta. I'm in Canada, very, very cold, obviously. And I joined a program called Junior Achievement, which is for high school students to learn about entrepreneurship. Through the program, we built a business, a custom lapels pins business called Tracy's Pins. And for 6 months, we operated it. We did really well in the program, getting nominated for Canada's Company of the Year and winning Southwest Alberta's Company of the Year in the program. And that kind of also showed my parents maybe the typical law, engineering or medical route is probably not right for Swish.
Right.
And so I went through high school, and honestly in high school I didn't do too many things entrepreneurial because most of my time was being spent debating. I had started debating in grade 7, and then in grade 10 I got the honor to join the Canadian National Debate Team. I traveled the world pretty much across my 3 years debating for Team Canada and attending 2 world competitions, one in Singapore and the other one in Thailand. And that taught me, again, a lot about critical thinking and a lot about public speaking, being confident with articulating my views. And a lot of that carried over even to university. And obviously when I dropped out, I became an entrepreneur full time, but I also didn't forget about speaking. And I started speaking actively on stages worldwide, speaking at a few TEDx conferences. And so that's kind of what my life has become, really, is running this company full-time, TrueFan. We're a team of 20 in Toronto, hoping to build what we think is the future of marketing while going through and also speaking at stages and trying to put my voice out on social media.
Derek Champagne here. Hey, if you're feeling isolated right now, if this health scare has got you working remotely or you're feeling uncertain, I want to invite you to check out my mastermind. Come join us. It's DerekChampagneMastermind.com.